going to start sewing the skirt. So according to the instructions, we need to attach a narrow strip of fusible interfacing or stay tape. So I like to use this fusible interfacing. It's like a knit, so it works really well with anything. It says along the pocket opening seam edge on the wrong side of the pocket facing. Okay, so we need to find the pocket facing. This is the pocket bag. This is the pocket facing. Alexa, turn on my iron.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do it right along here. So we need a strip about, let's see, 10 inches long. So let's find our, all right, we can just use our rotary cutter and our ruler. Couldn't think of the name. Okay, so let's just cut this off. So we don't need that piece right there. Okay. See how long that is. Okay, that's perfect. And I'm going to do this right about, just cut an inch. It's one nice thing about lines on this board. You can kind of play with it, line it up with your ruler. So I need 2 of these. There's one. So it's going to go just right along there. Then I'm going to cut another one. There we go. Now I've got my 2. Okay, so let's see what it says next. So what this does is it prevents the pocket opening from stretching while you're sewing. It just gives it a little bit more stability. So here we go. We are going to take our, and it's the bumpy side has the glue. So we're going to come down here and I'll just put that off. And I'm going to put that, I'm going to go ahead and iron that on. All right. Now you can see where I have I created my own stay tape. You can buy it. I've yet to find it though, other than online. I've looked at Joann's and it looks like they have a double-sided. So I just need to look a little further. But it's just easy enough to make your own with just regular easy knit fusible interfacing. Comes in white or black and I think a nude color. So let's see, the next step, place the pocket facing on the front with the right sides together. So pocket facing, that's what this piece is. We want to try to find the front. And remember I marked it with an F, so that's a B. So here's the front. And look at this side. Just, it just goes right down in line with the cut that's already there. And I'm just going to pin that together. And if your pins are not real sharp, just try another one. Especially when you're working with crepe de chine, you don't want it to snag. Might need to get out a new box. Pins do get dull. They just do. All right, so now we're just going to stitch from here all the way up on both sides. All right, so now we're ready to go to the sewing machine and stitch down the pockets. So right here, you're going to see I'm placing the pocket bag on top of the pocket facing. And I'm just laying it out. I'm going to pin it so everything holds together nicely. And then I'm going to stitch around that curve of the pocket bag. And really and you can either stitch it and take it to the serger, or I'm just going to take it directly to the serger and stitch all the way around and do both at the same time. So then I'm going to do the other side the same way. So I'm just got to kind of pull it out and find it. Sometimes you get lost in all the floral. So take your time. You can see I'm putting the bag on top of the pocket facing, and I've already laid out the pocket facing away from the skirt, and I did a little understitching. I'm just placing it around, pinning it, so then it's ready for the serger. So take your time, and if you're doing a lot of florals, just, don't get lost in the floral. Sometimes it's easy to do that. So once it's pinned, now we're ready to take it to the serger. Okay, so you'll see I have the pocket bag and the facing all on the garment. Now, and I just serged around the edges, just super simple. So now we're just going to lay this flat, and we're just going to line everything up, because we want this to go into the seam right there. Just get it all laying flat here. I'm going to pin it down, and then I'm going to just baste it with my machine from here to here, and then down this seam right here, just to hold that pocket in place. It would be at this point if you wanted to go ahead and top stitch, since you can see it open. And I don't think I am. I think I'm just going to give it a good press. I think that'll be just fine, because I think top stitching on crepe de chine would just be kind of a little odd. I don't know, it might be okay. It would hold it down a little better, but again, I haven't pressed it yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and baste here and here on both sides. Stay stitch under 5/8 of an inch from the edge along the waistband to the front. So that's right here. And I did that. After I basted down my pocket, I went ahead and stay stitched that down. You can see it on the back side. That just allows it prevents it from the waistline stretching out. I don't think it would, but I'm just not going to take any chances here. Now I'm going to stitch the back, and I'm just going to line these up. This is why I like to do it on a flat surface. Just makes it so much easier. We want to make sure that the pleat line is all lined up. And then we're going to just pin this down. So what I'm going to do next is the same thing I did for the front. I'm going to stitch down my pleat line. That's why I drew a line. It just makes it easier. Then I'm going to line up the crotch curve here, and sew a 5/8 inch seam. And I just went ahead and serged it. Just kind of do 2 in 1. You can do either. You don't even have to serge it. It's up to you and what equipment you have. I've been sewing a long time, so I've accumulated a lot. You can tell this fabric's kind of slippery, so taking your time is the best thing to do. Then once this is done and sewn, we're ready to move on to the next step, which is the right side seam, waistband, and then the zipper. right, so we're supposed to lay the front onto the back, and this side, which would be the right side, is where we stitch down. So I'm just gonna line this up and pin it. And then I'm gonna take it to the serger and then just run it down. So this is as far as I'm gonna go with this section of the tutorial. You'll see I have my computer sitting out here with all of my instructions. We've got all the way to the right side seam, and it's really looking nice. I'm really liking how this is turning out. So next we will work on the waistband, and then the zipper. Then we're going to let it hang. There's a few steps there. The inseam, and then we're going to let it hang. I'm going to just set it on my dress form, let it hang for a day, and then we'll go ahead and hem it. And then it's done. So it's so far I have found this pattern really easy. The only tricky part was my slippery fabric. So stay tuned for the next part, and happy sewing.